Alright, so missed a couple days, but that was mostly because I was like super tired, and one of the days not feeling super good. But yeah, so like I was asleep during stream time, so that's why I didn't make it. But doing better today, and so I thought I'd stream for a bit before bed. I've had a lot of free time at work, so I managed to get some work done on the monster in this one. Let me get my tablet working because my computer restarted for an update. There we go. Now we're back up to fully armed and operational. I should probably open something else too. Should probably actually give this one a name too, like a proper name, not just that. So, so I would give it a minute to open this last one. I want to sort of like go over what I've done in the last couple days at work, just so you can sort of see the changes, and there'll be a record of them. This one's taking a bit to open. Oh no. Probably because I have so many of these big ones open, but we'll give it a minute and then I'll open them up. I kind of want to get the arms corrected on this character too. Monstrous, the infected lady. We'll probably put some figures in the background too. They'll be pretty small. Man alive, probably eating up all of my rams. Need to go find a mountain, get some more. I guess those are goats. Go to a farm, get some more rams, put in here. Drag the progress bar onto the stream, that way you guys can at least see it. Oh, well, let me do that. There we go. So this is a big file. You can't click anything till this opens, but just as a point of reference, this is like as big as what I normally paint, just with twice the DPI, I think. So got a lot of pixels for that to figure out. This is where we were at before, sort of like where I'd roughed in that. This is the first pass, sort of adding detail to it. And then this is where I'm at today. I decided to warm some stuff up because the color wasn't feeling quite right there. But after warming it up, I feel a lot better about it, so I feel like that's pretty good. And just zoom in on some of the detail work. So most of it was just like painting and like connections between little joints and stuff. Might need to do a little bit more in the back legs, but I'm going to save that for work tomorrow. And we'll need to add a shadow as well onto the grass. Not at all what I wanted to do. It's pretty laggy with all these open. So there we go. Much better. And let me just do this real quick too. So we brighten it up a little bit for print. And for that, we're just going to collapse everything. And filter. Camera raw filter. Control A, I need to remember that, and that's a handy shortcut because I use this filter quite a bit. But I think I upped the exposure a little bit. Not too much. Wait, I didn't do the exposure, I think I did the contrast. yeah, I'll probably be doing something like that for print. Just because I want this to read like it does on the screen. And if I don't lighten it up, I don't think it'll read as quite as well in print. And this lighter one is more what I'm seeing on my work monitor, at least on my screen. On your typically calibrated monitor, this will probably look like what it'll print as after I apply the filters and stuff. So, but I always try to like use the print media as like the guideline for how everything shows up. I mean, I'm doing so much stuff digitally or showing it to so many people initially, like you would think, but since it's sold as something digital or something as physical, I need to make sure the physical media is looking the way I want it to. Alright. What did I need to do? So on this, here's some of the paint over stuff. I need to make the arm a little bit longer. For the anatomy to be right, I'm going to move the burb over there. I think I'm going to leave the grass angled this way though. And we can do another grass like this, just sort of to get the motion right. We can connect the tail and have it sort of like swoop up like that, sort of in terms of the motion of the piece. Because like here, it's like too close to the center. And sort of some of this paint over, like I don't really like that larger body shape, but I'm fine making the head a little bit bigger. I don't know why. Like I sort of like being able to see this background when we don't have the sower text in there, so that's sort of why I'm avoiding that. Like I might make this a little bit bigger, but not a ton. You know, let's give that a shot real quick. The monster is basically one layer, so where are you at, monster? Right there. Actually, I think I like it with a slightly larger tuchus. So let's go paint in all those changes real quick. And at work, I don't have all of my brushes downloaded, so I've been using this Painter 2 brush to paint most of the monster. So let's get back to that. I use like a 12 for most of this, so we'll try to stick to the same brushes, just because that'll give us like consistent textures. Actually, maybe we should drop it down a little bit. Let's go like down to a 9, just because this is a little bit further away. We want to like show that texture. There we go. I'm just gonna merge these down just to make things a little bit easier on myself. Shadow in here real quick. Shrink this down just a hair. Soften out the edges of the shadow just a bit. You can switch it to multiply and just use some of that color there to that works. Let's move on to the arms here. Get those adjusted real quick. Go to the real foreground. Leave our reference layer in there. Actually, you know, let's drag our reference layer up. Up here. Into our actual reference layer, just to simplify things. Okay, there we go, there's that. In the grouping contents, we can always bring it in from an old save file. And we really don't need that anymore because we're starting to make changes. And genuinely, I think at this point, it's time to collapse these layers, just to simplify stuff. And instead, what we're going to do is break this up into like actual layers. We're going to have one layer up here, and then one layer underneath. For the front and back arm, that way I can adjust them a little bit without causing myself too much of a headache. Back arm is going to be a lot easier to do because I can just Control X, oop, command right layer, Control X, and Shift V to paste in place. It's on that layer. This one just needed to be oop. Ever so slightly longer. That's, I think, all I needed based on that. And this arm's going to be a little bit more difficult, but that's okay. So same thing. Grab the arm at the shoulder in this case. I'm doing this so I can edit out any like weird edges and stuff from the arm, not causing myself too much of a headache. Control C this time because I don't actually want to cut this out. Control Shift V to paste it in place. Turn that off. Go back to this layer here. Shazam just torso. We can turn that back on. Turn our area there off. Up to this layer here. Just clean up the edges a bit. And Control T. Not really going to change the arm shape too much, just make it bigger. Dang it. Maybe a little bit bigger. Control T. Just enough to move the hand away from the body a little bit there, I think. I feel like that's part of what the idea was with the... I know I can do this. So I'm scaling it up. Shouldn't hurt too much for me to just... No, that's not going to be right. And I think we can adjust this a little bit. I need to be on our eraser. There we go. Didn't want to have to open another one of these up, but I think I need to. I'll do my little copy pasta trick. Little foreground. Nope. Foreground figure. Delete all the stuff we don't need just to speed this up a little bit. I don't know I'm doing that. I don't need to do any of that. I didn't need to do any of that. Dang. Let's get this as quickly and easily as possible. You might be wondering why I fill that, but that's just so when we bring it over, and hit Control A, and our move tool, and just align it to the center. Delete out that layer. And then we can compare our two group 9s. So there's the new one. It's the old one. I kind of feel like the new one's a little bit better. Yeah, new one's way better. So let's get rid of the old one. Definite improvement. So I think what all that's left is really to just doing those dashed like telephone line things to help establish perspective for the background. Maybe add the figures and that orange glow into the ground. Maybe add some like gradient sort of effects to the eyes. But yeah, that was all based on the critique. Like the only real thing on the figure was making the arms a little bit longer, I think. Maybe making the head a little bit bigger too. Let's give that a shot. going to merge these together because I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm going to be better off painting it on one layer. Let's get rid of these groups that we don't need. Change the pose a little bit, but I think that's okay. Okay, and let's try making the head a hair bigger. Control-Shift V. Hey, how's it going? I think I like it with the bigger head there, so I'll go with the bigger head. Yeah, I know the feeling. That's why I missed the last couple days of streaming. Just allergies and some weird sleep schedule because of the allergies. It just kind of got to me. So I think I fell asleep at like 6:30 my time both days, which made it a little bit hard to stream. I'll go for a little bit longer tonight, I think. I feel like I need to do a more detailed job on these foreground leaves, so I'll probably paint those in. No, like it's just when my meds get overwhelmed, like I have trouble breathing, like because of the allergies and asthma, and so it feels like I have a cold constantly, but that comes with like the usual cold things where it makes me tired. When it gets real bad, I get like body aches and stuff with it, so it's just being sick, feeling sick made me feel drowsy, and like trying to power through that at work and still be like focused enough just wore me down. Yeah. Oh, the bird's staying in for sure. Like, so there's sort of the critique from a while back where the bird got moved over here. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with the feet. Yeah, sort of doing that. If anything, the meds sort of wake me up, like the albuterol inhaler I have, which is one of my asthma meds, actually like makes me jittery and awake at least for a little bit. So like if I'm sick and have to take it like before bed, before I take my other inhaler, it'll actually wake me up and make it harder to sleep, which is awkward. So yeah, just weird asthma stuff, I guess. But yeah, I think it was like, took an afternoon nap on Monday and then threw off my schedule for the next day was what happened. But you know, things are going a little bit better at work just because we're moving and we've gotten to the point now where there's almost nothing for me to do but paint at work. Oh yeah, like I don't really have a choice but to use, like that one doesn't like make it go super fast, but you get a little bit of that, a little bit of like jitteriness. But that's just, I guess that's what the medication has to do to make it so I can breathe, and it's a trade-off I'm willing to make. Alright. So I think I want to get these like backgroundy tentacle things done, because that's the thing that's bothering me. That's the only thing, like, that's the sketchy in this piece. Well, like the foreground's still like sketchy, but not like line art sketchy. Well, that's what we're missing on this guy. We need to give him like an orange little thing on the tip of his tentacle. Let's go back to our monster real quick and do that. And we'll go back into the background layers and figure out where we need to paint these monsters. I'm gonna put this foliage into the real foreground. There we go. That's sort of what I'm thinking of it as, is anything on the slope of the hill down to the road is going to be in the real foreground. The road, telephone poles and stuff are going to be sort of the almost foreground. Yeah, I kind of figured. It's just like weird tentacle, sort of scorpion, crab mixy thing. I think it's like the weird eyes that, and like the bug stuff that makes it scary, is mixing those things together. Yeah, foreground. Actually, I'm not putting those figures in. Actually, I will be eventually. I need to leave that in as a reminder. That's just some extra grass stuff. That's okay. You can leave that in there. Let's go to our monster. Got a shad B instead of a shadow because of the typo. I think it's going to stay that way. I imagine to make it sound like I don't know, sort of like the sound a shovel would make going into the dirt, I would think. Just like maybe a big shovel. So think like excavator noises, but without the engine. Or mechanical bits, just like the shovelly parts going into the dirt. Maybe sort of like a clacky sound if it goes on like roads or something. Only bet it would break concrete, so you might get like more like concrete breaking noises with that. It's probably too big to make like cool tippy tap noises. Honestly, with the layout, it doesn't. There's probably no modern animal you can compare it to, just because a modern animal would break if it were shaped like this. I think, like the physics just wouldn't let it happen. We just need to live in the midground someplace. There's the tentacly things. We found them. Oh, that's some of the stuff that's on that layer. I think I'm fine with just deleting that layer. We don't need it. We'll make a new layer to remind me of what needs to go there, which is ground goop. Make this one red. Just danger, don't forget this. Not orange, red. There we go. Okay. Make our monster layer purple. That way it'll be easy to find the monster layers. Actually, let's just use our hard round brush for laying these things in too. I'm gonna sort of like desaturate it and lighten it up just a bit. Also, going back to the lake noises thing, you could also make just some like weird random noise. I mean, they're like extra dimensional creatures. For all we know, it could have some weird like sound effect associated with it, just because it's like interdimensional, where it could be making like a pinging noise or like a bell ringing noise, which would be kind of creepy. Fantastical things here. We don't need to limit ourselves to what would really happen. Need to go a little bit more desaturated and a little bit lighter for this other background one. Thin this one out a little bit. It's still good. Probably need to desaturate this just a hair. background one. Trying to keep the detailing on these like more distant ones a little bit more loose than the foreground one, just to help sort of sell the perspective a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit of that like leafy green color into this canvas because I think it'd be picking up just a little bit of that. And I went a little bit too light on that tentacle, so I'm going to sort of bring it back like that. Go and sort of make our highlight color again. There we go, that feels pretty decent. I think we've got we got one more left to do. Let's use the same old layers for this one. Also, it's kind of nice doing like a monster project in October. I always feel like I never do like holiday themed drawings for the most part. It's kind of convenient that I'm already working on sort of Halloweenish drawings right from the get-go. Yeah, like what I'm working on I think fits pretty well, so. But I think on that note, I'll probably leave it here. I'll probably have like a post-work update at the beginning of the stream tomorrow. Because I'm assuming I'll be feeling good tomorrow just because I have a little bit less time at work where I'm not, out of my office with my air purifier, so I should be okay. But yeah, it's definitely my bedtime, so I should definitely hop off and get to sleeping. So thanks for coming, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night, probably.